Doing it for the culture, Southern vibes. It's your host, DJ Krooks. And today I got two OGs, two legends, DJ City, Battle Ave in the building. We got our boys, DJ Rockwell and DJ Playboy.
What up? What up?
What up?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure. I know you guys are late as fuck, but y'all definitely came through. So
and true
appreciate it.
DJ,
We're here, though.
and
We're
true
here.
and true
We're here,
DJ fashion, we're late.
For sure, we definitely accounted for that. But first off, let's take some shots.
All right, let's kick the show off.
This show is not sponsored by Espolone, but tag them in the comments.
Oh, we are taking this. Here we go. Tastes like last night.
Bro, is that why y'all came late?
Probably.
I woke up with time.
That's crazy. So what you guys been up to lately?
Try to stay busy, man. Gigging.
Gigging?
Basically, yeah, trying to get the next gig like everybody else.
I feel that. How about you,
Yeah,
Rocco?
same, man. Just trying to stay as busy as possible.
Definitely.
And the saturated culture that we have here in Houston.
Oh, dude, it's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
But good thing is there's venues opening up every day too. So
Yeah. I feel like Houston's on the rise for sure. Like as far as nightlife is concerned, as many like clubs that are opening up now from out of the state, from LA, from
yeah, everybody wants a piece now.
So I think it's gonna help us.
Gotcha. And do you feel like, is this because Houston as a whole is growing, or is it because it's easier to DJ now?
Man, it could be both.
Well, I mean, of course it's easier to DJ now. That's why there's more DJs, but I think Houston as a city is growing.
Gotcha. And you guys mentioned that you guys have been working a lot. What are some of the spots you guys are spinning at?
Well, my residencies, I'm always at Bovine on Thursdays. I'm always at Tequila's on Mondays. And I'm always at Kirby's Ice House from 3 to 7 on Sundays. And then everything kind of fills in Friday and Saturday for the boot pimp rotation.
Oh, okay.
So it always varies. But those are my solid gigs.
Gotcha. How about you, Rockwell?
Yeah. So I do Friday nights at Net Bar, and I rotate that with Dogwood. So every other night, every other Friday. And then same with Saturdays. I'm at Dogwood during the day, every other Saturday. My Saturday nights are on the Booth Pimp schedule, so we rotate our gigs. Sundays I do Dogwood brunch, 2 to 6. Mondays we do Tequilas. And then I do Electric Feel Good on Tuesdays as a rotation as well. So
That's where we were last night.
and then we rotate a Bovine on Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, yeah.
Dang, y'all boys stay busy.
And
Like I said, trying to stay busy.
Rocco could write a book.
I mean,
on it.
lately I've been probably working about 5 nights a week since the new year. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
So as a working DJ, how do you guys balance doing all these gigs and just like your regular ass life in general?
Pretty good question. They don't really, the regular life and the, well, for me, the regular life and the club life, they don't really blend together.
Yeah.
So completely separate. But when I'm not DJing, I try to be proactive like everybody else, but it doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
Just always digging or coming up with ideas for DJ City or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, separate, completely separate. They don't really blend well with me.
I mean, as far as like just the normal shit you have to do, like as a person, like laundry and fucking.
Oh, yeah.
do
That's
shit
a good
around.
thing is, we work 4 hours at night, so we have all day to get whatever shit we need to get done. You know what I mean? So
The only time it's conflicting if you say like for him like or anybody if you have like an appointment, a doctor's appointment or something early.
Yeah.
And you're getting home at 3 something like
yeah,
that's the only time it conflicts. But like you said,
it's all about balance.
Yeah.
You gotta balance the nightlife with the regular day life. It's hard when you wake up hungover though.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Then all you want to do is just sleep all day.
Drink
so.
water 2020.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, for sure. So you guys mentioned that you guys are on a rotation with the Booth Pimp schedule. How did you guys first get into the Booth Pimps?
Did you go first or did I go in
I
first?
think I went first. So,
Yeah, so you go first then.
basically, I was out here for a while. I moved out to Houston to be on the radio, so that's why I moved
With
out
Crisco.
here. So, I got on the radio station, Party 104.9 back in the day with Crisco Kid. I moved from Albuquerque.
Okay.
And it was just, I did the radio. I didn't really know anybody. He's probably one of the first people I met when I came out here. And then just from being out, I met Johnny. And Johnny had the Booth Pimps. I think that's right when it first started. And he kind of just reached out because he was getting so many gigs. And he reached out to me. And he actually got me a residency at Drinkery, which was on Washington back in the day. And he got me that residency. And I guess from there, he kind of realized, okay, I could trust this dude. And so then he basically, asked me to be part of the Booth Pimps. And I was like, yeah, I'm down, And it's probably to be honest with you, it was one of the best decisions I made as far as DJing wise in Houston, because
Kept
not,
you here. Kept
not
you
a lot
busy.
of people are on their business
Yeah.
shit, you know what I mean? And John, he has his, he has it on lock, and he had so many gigs that he needed that many DJs to be able to like handle it. And then I think from then, I think he asked him right
Yeah.
after, like we probably like started almost at the same time.
So I've known Johnny and Ebonics for a long time prior to that. And we did gigs together, events together, and then so same thing. Eventually it came to the point where he asked me to be on the team because he had a plethora of gigs to hand around. So that's how it happened for me. But I've always known him for a long time. Actually, I always bring this story up to Johnny. I remember back in the day when people used to like make actual mixtapes. I bought one of his mixtapes at I think it was Atomic Music at the time. I still have it somewhere. I need to find it. It's actual blue tape. It says DJ Johnny J. It's all like clubby. Try to describe like a up tempo '90s house.
So long story short,
Yeah.
Johnny J's old as fuck.
There's the real OG right
Yeah,
there.
that's a real OG. I mean, we're old, but he's old.
He's gonna hate hearing this.
What up, Johnny?
Yo,
What
shout
up,
out
Johnny?
to J. That's funny as hell. So how did you guys get into DJing? Like, let's just rewind this shit real back, because obviously you're not from Houston, Rockwell.
Yeah.
Playboy's from Houston. So how did you guys first discover getting into this DJ shit?
With me, I had a cousin who did like mobile gigs, like for weddings. So it was not the DJing we do now, but it was still that.
Yeah.
And then when it came to turntables and shit like that, I seen the Crackernuts way back in the days. It was at a concert, kind of concert where we had like maybe like 10 artists. El Presidente was on there, Jocelyn Enriquez, like the old school house, and Baby J had just got onto the radio station. I think it was like Kiss. Yeah, I think it was Kiss. And I seen them on stage, like, controlling the crowd. I was like, man, I want to do that. Like, what they're doing, I want to do that. Because, like, you could tell they were feeding off the energy.
Yeah.
And that wasn't me. I mean, besides seeing DJs on TV and, wanting to be like that. But, like, that moment is defining for me. That's what made me want to do it.
That's crazy. And
It's like, I want to control the crowd like that.
What age were you around this time?
When I saw that, I think it was like 16, 15? Maybe 15.
Interesting.
Yeah, 16, I think. Around there.
How about you, Rockwell?
I mean, I was always pretty heavy in like the hip hop scene growing up. Even like as a kid, I was like a b-boy, like when I was super young. And then as I grew up, like all my friends were doing something, like graffiti writers, b-boys, rapping, and I was not gonna do any of those at the time. So I just same thing, I like being so into hip hop and just seeing like videos and like seeing turntables. Like it was always something that I would try to do, like with my parents stuff, but it never really panned out. And then my friend bought some equipment, and that night we had went to this it was like a teen thing, and it was this DJ back in the day in New Mexico who was like the DJ there. His name was DJ Days. Shout out to Days. And we watched him, and I was like, he had techniques, he had like everything, the Gemini turntable, I mean not turntable, the mixer, which was kind of like the standard back then. And
That's crazy how that was a standard.
yeah, I know. And then, so I went back to my friend's house, and my friend had equipment. So, like, I went back to his house, and that night, I just stayed up all night and just used his shit. And then, from then on, I was like, I got to get some equipment. So, I think I was around 15, 16. I bought, like, back in the day, in, like, the Source magazine, there used to be, like, ads for this record store called Upstairs Records. And they would sell, like, it was basically, like, an ad in the magazine that would sell, like, vinyl. And they would sell like turntable packages, and I got like the cheapest one, like probably like $400, 2 cheap ass belt driven turntables, but I got those and it was cool. And then my friend had one 1200, and he went to like Europe for the summer or something like that, and he let me borrow his one turntable. So I worked all summer, bought another Techniques. Nice. He came back, and I'd been practicing that whole summer. He came back, and I was like, yo, look at all this shit I learned while you were gone. And he's like, just keep my turntable.
Well, you're doing better with it than I am.
So he just let me keep his turntable. And then from then on, I mean, from like 16 on, and it was on. I was doing high school parties. I was doing, I think I started DJing in clubs when I was 18.
Yeah.
So I just kept doing it. I used to play basketball. And then once I like learned how to DJ, I was like, basketball. Whatever. So.
Yeah, we need to do like I know we did the DJ City bowling thing. We need to do like a basketball pickup game.
Oh man,
I don't
too many
know
people get hurt.
I
Too
don't
many
know
people get hurt.
that.
Feelings will get hurt. Ankles get broken.
I'll tell an ACL or something.
All the young kids are gonna thrive.
No, but he just reminded me about the whole b-boy thing, and I think most DJs our age and older, like they were some type of b-boy at some point in life.
Yeah.
And that's driven the culture towards DJing. When he said that, like, oh yeah, duh, I used to be into that heavy.
Yeah, I mean, it was so much harder back then though too, because like, well, I mean, especially me being from New Mexico, it's not like I could just go to like we didn't have Guitar Center, we didn't have any sort of, I think we had one.
Did you have Mars Music?
No, we had a place called Grandma's Music, and but like, so everything I got, I ordered. You know, I had to order all my vinyl. Like, there was probably one or two record stores back in the day when I was young, and so like, and you know, there was no YouTube. You know, there was no. I think at one point there was one like VHS. It was called Turntable Wizardry. I think Vestax put it out.
Yeah, Vestax
this was
did.
already past. Like, I'd already been DJing for 3-4 years, but I had to like mail in like a check. You know what I mean, or like a money order, and then I got this like, you know, and it was dope though. It was like Babu. It was like Shortcut. It was like, I think it was the Beat Junkies. I forgot who else was on it, but that was like the first like tutorial thing that I ever really saw. So like, it was all self-taught, just trying to figure it out, you know, learning from older dudes who were DJs back in the day. So
Yeah, and then now you just hit YouTube or check out a DJ school and
yeah, I mean, now there's
shit.
full-on DJ schools,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Which
is dope.
That wasn't ever a thing.
But what's dope is that like, you know, I feel like you know, like the Scratch Pickles actually started that to be able to share like, yo, this is what we do and this is how we do it, because nobody really was doing that, you know what I mean? So like that was cool. Like, I remember being in high school and like using the internet in my high school and like literally like printing out stuff from their message board of like scratches on how to do these scratches. I like printed out like probably like 40 pages worth of shit, and that's how like I kind of learned how to like
Scratch Academy or just forums in general.
Nah, I forgot what it was. There was a couple. There was a Scratch Pickles message board. There was a couple like
message boards were huge at the time too.
Yeah.
If you wanted any kind of information, message boards were the way to go, even to get music.
Yeah. So I forgot what it was. There was a couple of them, but that's basically how I learned like all the scratches and stuff like that. And then, this dude from Cali moved to New Mexico. His name is DJ Day, who does a lot of stuff with Serato and stuff now. He actually moved to Albuquerque, and he's kind of like the one who taught me how to like scratch, like really scratch. So luckily I met the right people.
That's crazy. It's so crazy to think like how these days is so much easier than like back then, because you have to have that actual thirst for knowledge and actually like, because I feel like there'd be people like, nah, I ain't teaching you shit. Like,
No. That definitely did happen, and I'm sure it still happens now.
Well, I think there'd be a lot less DJs if it was like that still. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah, it was definitely back like that back in the days.
So what was the transition from being, you know, a mobile DJ or a club DJ into radio? When did y'all finally get into radio? Because I know you got into radio over time. True, right?
Yeah.
Playboy? Yeah.
Were you in radio and you were, right?
Yeah. So okay, like I was a super like hip hop head when I started DJing. You know, like I would not play any radio shit. Like I was totally
the purist.
I was totally against that. You know, I was playing like, you know, Ruckus Records and like Mos Def and like, you know, stuff like that. So most of all my shit was all, and I hated the radio, you know? I was like, fuck that. So I ended up linking up. One of my friends was one of like the major like concert promoters out there, but he would book a lot of like underground shows. So every show he booked, I would open up for. So I opened up for like Outkast, like back in the day. Like I opened up for like Atmosphere, like super like underground hip hop groups. And then I think I opened up, or I did like an after party for a Nas concert, and just so happens that the radio station was there doing like the radio thing, and they heard me and they actually asked me, and this was like another radio station that I actually didn't even go on. It was like a competing radio station, and like they asked me, and I was like, at that time I was like, you know, what else am I gonna do? There's like, I need to step up my, you know, I need to step myself up if I'm gonna try to take this anywhere. You know what I mean? And what's the next thing? Radio. You know, yeah, it's not my thing, but I'm a DJ. You know what I mean? This is what I want to do, so I'm gonna make that next step. So I went to that station, and they like asked me for a resume, and like, and I'm like, fuck this shit. And then I was like, all right, whatever, and I did. And then the other radio station contacted me, and they were just like, fuck it, come on, like we'll put you on like tomorrow. So I was like, all right, sorry guys. So I went to the other station, and that's how I met Crisco. And basically, the company that was running that radio station was the same company that was running Party 104.9. It ended up being Party 93.3 towards the end.
Univision, right?
Univision.
Yeah.
And so that ended. I think I was only on the radio maybe like 1 or 2 years. Not even. Maybe a year before I got moved out here.
Gotcha.
And that's how I met him, through just the radio and Crisco and just being out.
Do you feel like that kind of really helped jumpstart your career a little bit more just because you're meeting all these artists?
The radio?
People are listening to you like on the radio.
Oh, definitely. It definitely, and you know, I got a lot of hate from people that knew me from what I used to do. Like, call me sellout. You know what I mean? And I was like, for real, like, I'm still, you know what I mean? It was cool because in New Mexico, I had a little bit more freedom to throw in a couple things that I would usually do.
Yeah.
When I came out here, it was a little different. But yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, that's a whole nother level. Like, the radio is totally different now, but back then, like, it was like, you know, so much. They put so much money in their promotion.
That's when labels had money.
You
though,
had
too.
like, you know, like and being able to get free records. You know what I mean? Like, just the
Daily.
amount of records that you would get is crazy. You know.
Every day I open up the door and there's always a stack of records.
And you know you're getting records before, you know, other people are getting records because you're getting promotional copies and shit. So, no, it was definitely. I mean, I wouldn't be out here if it wasn't for radio. I'd probably still be in New Mexico or who knows where I would be, but I definitely wouldn't be out here.
And then it's crazy because now it's moving more from like FM more into like satellite radio now.
Satellite streaming. See, for me, whenever I started doing radio, I think it was 19, maybe 19 or 19 or 20. The way I got on, because Impulse, me and him were doing Talk Bar, and they used to do live broadcasts every Saturday from 10 to 2, or 10 to 4, something like that, something crazy. Well, the DJ who was on before him, his name was DJ X-Ray, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna go use the restroom, and Impulse is in the booth. He goes, take over me while I'm in the restroom. And this is at the time where you have to get the crates, like, so you can't just type something in real quick.
Yeah.
So if you don't know somebody's crates, you're gonna struggle trying to find a song.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, exactly. So he did that, and he crushed it, and then they had him on. And then eventually I got on doing live broadcasts on the club. Like, being on the radio and then doing broadcasts on the club, two different animals, because you got to make the radio happy and you got to make people dance. Yeah. But at the same time, you have to play certain records that the radio requests, like, they have powers, songs you had to hit.
And you're playing clean records.
And you're playing clean records in the club. So, like, people are, like, screaming the cuss words out, but, you know, you're not playing the cuss words, you know? And so I did that for a couple years as well. And then the best time to be on the radio was during the Super Bowl, when every artist was coming through the station where we were there. Who came through when I was there? I think Russell Simmons came through when I was there, and LL Cool J came on when I was on the air. I was like, oh man, like.
Did you guys get drops?
Oh man, that's the one thing we didn't. No, actually, we probably did.
I have a ton of drops.
Yeah, I have drops, but I don't remember getting one from Russell. I should have. Now that I think about it, but I was just too up in the moment to think about it, you know.
Yeah.
And then later on down the road, present, doing a series with globalization.
Yeah.
And it definitely helps. Like, especially on that one, because whenever my mix comes on, it shows my handle for my
it shows
social.
you right on the thing.
So that's very interactive. People start hitting you up right away. Like, oh, like, if your mix is killing it, you'll know right away. But if you're not, like, the replies are just very, very low. It's like, get a bruised ego. Nobody tweets me or anything. It's like, man, I should have killed it more.
You get no at messages during your time. So.
Yeah, I was like, damn it, I gotta do better. That's how I gauge it, if by the amount of people that hit me up.
Yeah.
If I did good or not.
That's dope. So how did you link up with Sirius?
Through DJ City. If you don't know Phenom, he's the president of DJ City. Pitbull had asked him to help run the station, not to run it. And he was like, I don't know, because I got a lot on my plate. He goes, I'll help you, but I can't run it.
Yeah. And
I was actually, this is a dope origin story. So I was in LA when this happened, and the guy who was supposed to run the station, he was supposed to load the music up to the station that was supposed to be playing in rotation and build the library. This was 3 days before the launch of the station. And he didn't do anything. He didn't have, I don't remember his name, because even if I didn't know his name, I wouldn't mention his name because I don't want to be messy. But yeah, he didn't do anything, and he'd have nothing ready. And then Pitt and Laz hit up Phenom like, hey, we need you to pick up the ball. Can you do this? So Phenom, Santa Rosa, and Big Syph, and who else? I think it's band, I believe. They all sat down, crunched it out, and made it happen. And so now Phenom's the PD of Sirius XM Globalization. So that's how he got in. And then from there, he brought all the team with him. Yeah. So it's a no-brainer if you work for a DJ company to have your DJs be on the station. Yeah. So that's how I got involved with it. Now it's been, I think it's like 4 or 5 years already. Yeah. And that time has flown by.
Yeah, you guys are killing it too, because that's probably like one of the most popular channels on Sirius, if not the best.
It's definitely a DJ favorite because there's so many DJs. I think there's 30 DJs on the roster. Yeah. And they're all badass DJs. I'm lucky to be a part of it because like those guys would blow me out the water any day of the week.
Yeah, and we got some dope DJs from Houston on there too. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Anarchy's on there too.
Anarchy. Who else is on there?
Ilset's on there, but she's in Miami now.
Yeah, Ilset, and then I think a few of our other local DJs have probably done like guest sets.
Oh yeah, they've done guest sets for the Buddha Party.
Definitely, for sure.
Danny and Cypher and that.
Yeah, so how'd you get involved with DJ City?
Same thing with Phenom. He saw me how like I'm active here, and like I'll keep it cool with everybody. I try not to have any enemies. I don't think I have any. Hope not.
Probably made some last night when you.
He just saw the way it worked. Yeah, he just saw the way it worked and network with people, and he's like, "You'd be a good fit, like to represent the brand in Houston." And I was always cool with them. We always gigged together, or we booked them here, and it was like over a long time. I know Phenom now for way over 10 years now, and he's like, "It's a no-brainer. Like just be on the team, pretty much."
Definitely, for sure. I know Rockwell's been on Red Bull, like, I think, 2012?
I think 2011.
2011?
I did 2 Red Bull battles.
Yeah, because they used to do, like, local battles back then, right?
Yeah, back in the day, there was they would do city battles, and then they would do regional battles, and then it was the national battle, and then the world battle.
Yeah.
So I think they did the first one in 2010. I can't remember.
It was like 1 year before you, I think.
It was 1 year before me, and you had to be asked to be in the battle.
Yeah.
So they had like a rep, and they would go and get certain people. So the first year I wasn't in it.
And the clubs would help choose, right?
Yeah,
it
would
weird.
be the reps, and they would just ask certain people. So the first year I wasn't in it. Second year I was in it. I won that year, and then I went to Dallas for the regional. And it kind of sucks because it was that regional. It was first and second place. We were gonna be able to go to the nationals, which was in Vegas that year, and I got third.
Yikes.
So like, I didn't get to go to nationals, but I still placed, I guess. And so that was cool. And then the year out, no, they didn't do it for a couple years after that, and then they did another one.
Yeah, it went away for a while. I remember.
Yeah, they didn't do cities for a while, and then they did another one maybe like 2 years after that, and I got second in that one.
It's crazy to see how that's grown too, because like I said, like the venues used to pick the DJs, like you said, like the Rebel rep will go to whatever accounts had Red Bull in the club.
It's crazy though too, because the year I won it, I got less money than the year I got second place.
Yeah, I think it's always been a known fact that the pay and the prize starts getting less and less.
But it was more. So the first year I did it. I think it was like 1,000, and you get other stuff though too, and then I got the whole flown to Dallas and got put up, and they treat you really good. They basically do for the regionals. They would do what they do for the like world, how they take all these DJs and they do all these like they'll take you around to the city or whatever city you're in, and you do all these like little things. So they did that for every regional battle, which is I think that's why they stopped doing that, because I think they were just throwing so much money. But then the other year that they did it, like the prizes were just crazy. I think first place for city was 5,000.
Shit.
And I think they paid y'all, right?
And I think the what?
They paid y'all for y'all's time.
Yeah, they paid, and then everybody got like 350 just to be in the battle or something like that.
Yeah, they got paid just to be in it.
Yeah, so that year I think it was 5,000 for that was just the city battle, and then I think I think the regionals was like 10 G's, and I think like the national was like 25 or something like that if I remember. But then I think that kind of messed it up in the sense of like, okay, what are we doing with all this money? You know what I mean? And so that's why I think it's gradually just done to the way they're doing it right now.
Yeah, where it's going lower and lower.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of weird though. I think it's weird the fact that they like, I mean, I guess it's good that you have to like submit a video, but then at the end of the day, it's like who's watching that video and like who's doing it?
Who's actually judging?
Who's the decision makers?
Yeah, who's making those decisions? I mean, not to say that I don't feel like it's fallen off as far as skills wise or DJ wise. I mean, there's still dope DJs that are in it, but I mean, I think it's a dope battle because, like, I was never really one to do, like, a DMC battle because, I mean, yeah, I do technical stuff and I scratch and do all that stuff, but I like to rock parties.
Yeah.
So I like to do both, and that's just, like, the perfect battle for someone like me that does what I do, you know what I mean? So I think it's dope. I still think it's dope.
For sure. And prior to that, did you enter any DJ battles before that, or? I
mean, I was in like local DJ battles. I never did like the DMC stuff, but I did like local battles in New Mexico. I don't think.
Did they have like Guitar Center battles?
Well, we didn't really.
Yeah,
they had a guitar. We finally got a Guitar Center, but we didn't really have a Guitar Center. So we had our own kind of battles out there. I did those. I mean, they were whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I still did battles, but I really wasn't. I'm not a big battle guy, you know. Like, I don't know. I like DJing, and I like scratching and doing tricks and stuff, but I don't like just
You don't consider yourself a battle DJ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would never consider myself a battle DJ.
You're more like a party rocker kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I came up. You know
But
what
I
I
can
mean?
cut.
Come when
I
I
can rock
came
the party,
up.
but I can cut.
Yeah, when I came up, it was like, oh, you're a DJ, so yeah, I'm gonna learn how to scratch. You know what I mean? I'm gonna learn how to do this. I'm gonna learn how to do it because all my favorite DJs, that's what they did. You know?
Yeah.
And then like, cause you know, there was a time where DJs would just actually start DJing just to battle. They wouldn't even DJ.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They couldn't mix. Like,
yeah, they would just scratch. You know what I mean? Or they wouldn't, you know. So and I was like, that's cool. You know, that's definitely cool. But like,
it don't pay the bills.
I started off being a DJ. You know what I mean? I started off being a DJ. It just so happened that I learned how to scratch and do other stuff because it's boring to me if I don't. You know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, nobody's gonna be in the club like, oh man, you hear the guy scratches?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
fucked up.
just because I can scratch doesn't mean I'm just gonna fucking bust out scratching in the middle of a song or
The whole
something like
night and
that,
shit.
You know what I mean?
Do a fucking 30-minute cut solo.
Yeah. So
Yeah, nobody goes to the club to hear people scratch.
Yeah,
They're
no,
going to
so-
dance and turn up.
And have a good time.
Exactly. So
It's funny.
But if you could do it, you know, tastefully, like I said, you know,
yeah,
People appreciate it.
I always like use the analogy of like dunking, like slam dunking. I'm like, you really don't need to dunk the basketball, but it's cool when you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're not gonna dunk it every time you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I feel like scratching the same way.
Yeah.
You
It's
can
all-
scratch and if you can scratch and do it good, that's dope. But you don't need to do it all the damn time.
Yeah.
You know?
It's all with taste and where it makes sense. 'cause
Yeah.
You want to be that guy just the whole fucking time.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There'll be times where I'm a little drunk, and I probably do.
That was funny as shit. So you mentioned that some of your favorite DJs had the mix of both the party rocking aspect and the cutting. Who were some of your early influences as a DJ, or your favorite DJs in general?
Well, Jazzy Jeff, of course,
Yeah.
and everybody.
Legend.
But I was a big fan of like West Coast DJs, like all the beat junkies, basically. Melody, Babu, J Rock, Shortcut. He's one of my
Oh, he's dope.
biggest influences. And back in the day, there was a crew called Triple Threat, which was Vin Rock, Apollo, and Shortcut, and they were kind of like the epitome of what I wanted to do because they were dope technical DJs, but they were super dope just DJs, party rockers. So they had a huge influence coming up, and I did a lot of stuff with them out in New Mexico. We used to bring them out a lot.
Oh, nice.
But and then like, you know, like there was a local DJ, his name was DJ Days, who was like one of my main influences growing up because he was like the one that was out there doing it, and he was dope. But man, I drew influence from everyone. DJ Premier, like, you know, his cuts on the songs, even Magic Mike, like
Yeah, I had a bunch of Magic Mike CDs.
it's a bunch, man. If there was a DJ, like, you know, I would always check for it. Like,
For sure, though.
like the movie Juice, like, come on, like that was like,
Yeah, Brian Ryan's brought up Juice.
Man,
What part?
In his podcast, he's like, man, this is fucking nuts, man. This dude just does a DJ battle after he kills
I
somebody.
think
Yeah.
I think I gotta watch Juice like every 2 years, man. That's just like
For a
one of my-
refresher.
That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite movies.
A lot of DJs came up on Juice and really
For sure.
thought that shit was dope.
Because you never saw it on TV, or you saw it on movies, but not like it was focused around that, you know?
Yeah.
That was like a first. Right? Yeah, it was, right?
Yeah.
When it was like put out like that, DJing?
Well, yeah, I like in a movie, in a
Yeah.
sense. But I mean, there was like, you know, Martin Lawrence was the DJ in like House Party when
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was bumping his turntables.
Yeah,
and
that
stuff
part,
like
yeah.
that. Like,
But I'm talking about like
yeah.
essentially
Oh
focused.
yeah, like it actually focused on DJing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if it wasn't like the old school like Wild Style or like the
Yeah.
old school movies like that, because that was like one of the, I know early on,
Yeah,
kind of
super
before
early.
my time was like the I don't know. There's like a part in Wild Style where Grandmaster Flash is in the kitchen. He does like this routine in the kitchen. That was like a huge influence for. It was a little bit before my time, but I remember watching that. And that was another thing too. Like coming up, I was really big on like going back to older DJs and like checking like older music, older hip hop and stuff like that. Like that was big. I feel like a lot of people don't do that anymore.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, because like with me, it was the same thing when it came to just like being a fan of music. Like whenever like say older music, to me it sounded brand new. But when I look back at the dates, like some of them, a lot of them were way before I was even born. But to me, it was new because like I was like going back and I don't think people have the appreciation for the older stuff before they learn the new stuff nowadays. I think they just jump in where they can get in and just ride with what they know from like, maybe a year or two before, and then keep going. You know?
Yeah.
I think yeah, for sure.
I definitely respect newer DJs that go back and do their homework on on even like older school music or just even older DJs in general. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I could tell a newer DJ just by like I could tell what they know about like just even DJing in general just by hearing them or just knowing like their taste or anything like that. I could tell like, oh, you really didn't.
Yeah, their mental
you really didn't do your homework, or you really don't really care to go back and try to like figure out shit that happened prior to you. You know,
when you do hear a young DJ play some dope shit, you're like, you know what the fuck is up?
Yeah. And why do you feel like that is? Do you feel like they just jump in there real quick and they just
I think it's because everything's easy accessible now.
Yeah.
There's a lot to keep up with nowadays.
Yeah, because there's like a new fucking song dropping every day.
Yeah, every day. It's either through social media, through TikTok. Shout out to Wicked, always in our ear about that shit. But yeah, a lot of music is pushed through more social media than it is through radio. So you're always hearing something, like you said, every day. There's a new song coming out, or there's a new dance, or there's always some shit coming out.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's definitely exactly what he just said. Like I feel like there's so much in your face right now that a lot of like
they may not be doing it on purpose.
People ain't really trying to go back to check for other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They may not be doing it on purpose, but it's it's like it's oversaturated. So I guess it'd be overwhelming to go back when you're already learning something right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like with me as a newer DJ, younger than you guys, I feel like I would get put in situations where I would have to force myself to be like, oh, we're going to do all fucking 80s party, all 90s party. And then that would force me to like dig and like try to figure out. And now I could do pretty much like any decade, So.
Yeah. See, that's how it should be. You got to do, like you said, do your homework. You got to dig. And not a lot of people do that. I mean, because it's time consuming. The day you become a DJ, you're never going to stop organizing music. You're never going to stop downloading music. And you're never going to stop listening to music. From the first day you start, it's a never-ending job.
Definitely, for sure. So since we're on the topic of newer DJs, what are some things that you guys wish y'all knew when y'all started?
Man. See, but now it's different, though, because like now, social media is a big part of being a DJ, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I wish I wasn't so close-minded, because like I said, I was so like all I wanted to do was listen to like underground hip-hop, and I didn't really care about listening to like popular mainstream music at the time. So like, I'm not saying it held me back, because I do know that I did know it, but I felt like if I would have started branching out and being a little bit more open with my DJing, I probably would be a better, well-rounded, more of a DJ right now. But I mean, in that sense, though, like from just growing up, being a hip hop DJ, because I feel like it's hard now because you could DJ anything because you have Serato and you have MP3s, and it's like when you're coming up DJing and you gotta buy only vinyl and it's so expensive, it's like, do I really want to buy this like record that I really don't like, but I know I'm gonna have to play? You know what I mean? Or do I want to buy this song that I really like? So you had to kind of like choose. So it was hard to be like I DJ everything type of DJ, for me at least, because I just didn't have the money to buy all kinds of different records. You know what I mean? So like I was just strictly playing at the time, hip hop, probably a little bit of funk and R&B and like reggae. I was a big reggae fan too. So other than that, like I didn't really branch out as heavy into like the house music that I liked, just because I didn't have the money to buy those records. And those records were expensive. So I wish I just was a little bit more well-rounded and like less closed-minded as a DJ.
Yeah, then you had to carry your crates too, so that's like
that's another thing. Like DJs bitch about like paying like $1 for a song. Like, man, we used to pay fucking $5-7 for one fucking record.
Yeah, you'd be happy when you got like 5 new records to play at the club that night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I got these 5 new songs to play tonight. Now it's like, I got like 100 songs I just downloaded today.
Yeah, DJs are like DJs now are spoiled, for sure. I mean, even new or old, we're spoiled because it's easy accessible. But when I hear people bitch about $1 a song, like, yo, come on. If you were like coming up in our times, you'd be fucking broke.
Yep, that's for sure.
How about you, Playboy? What are some things that you wish you knew when you first started?
Man, I think later on, like I learned like networking always helps. Like, so if I would have started doing that way earlier, I feel like it would have helped a lot more. Because that's a big part of the game that people forget. Like, in order to get gigs, you gotta go out there and shake some hands. You can't be the guy sitting on the couch at home not doing anything
Yeah.
You know, you got to be proactive.
Those are always the guys that are always talking the most shit.
Yeah, those are the guys talking most shit. The guys that are always at home.
They ain't doing shit.
If anything, I feel like I should have been more proactive and got more networking done sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But you live and learn. Can never go back. You got to do better.
Shit, you know now, and hopefully you listen to this podcast and pick up some gems and fucking
Hopefully.
start now instead of being at the house cutting in your room.
Do not wait. Do not wait for anything.
Get out.
Don't wait for anything.
And don't be a dick when you go out.
Yeah,
I always tell. So this is what I tell younger DJs coming up, or like they'll come maybe to our gigs. Like, don't be that fucking DJ in the corner, just like critiquing everything that the DJ's doing. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. DJs are like that in general. When you go out, you're gonna like hear some shit, and be like, oh, I wouldn't do that, or I wouldn't do that. But like there's like obvious motherfuckers be out there. Like, you could tell they're just like, oh, why is he playing this? Why is he doing that? Like, don't be that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why that DJ is up there doing that, and you're fucking in the crowd watching him. You know what I mean? So, whatever he's doing more than you. If you're out there watching him, just don't be that fucking guy that just talks mad shit, and you ain't doing shit. If you want to be anybody, you gotta, like you said, you gotta network. You gotta be cool. You could be the best DJ in the world, but if you're an asshole, no one's gonna fuck with you.
Yeah, nobody's gonna hire you. Nobody's gonna be your fucking friend.
Wait, can
either.
we cuss on this? I guess
you
we're
can
drinking, right?
Yeah,
So,
fuck that shit.
That's like
Oh, we're already
30
past
minutes
that point.
later, right?
It's already past that point.
30 minutes later.
Time for
We already
another
dropped
shot.
like 100 F-bombs. Whenever you go out and as a young DJ, go buy the DJ a shot. Introduce yourself. But don't be overbearing.
Yeah, for sure. Don't be overbearing.
Just be like, hey man, what's up, man? Just if you want a shot, you know, just want to say what's up, you know. But don't get in his way of the night either. Don't be there like hovering over his shoulder. Don't be a hoverer.
Don't be a hoverer, guys.
Don't be a hoverer. Don't be a shit talker. Just be a cool dude. You know what I mean? Don't be overly.
It'll get you a lot further later on in
Don't be
life.
overly groupie-ish. It's too early to be drinking.
Yeah, it's like 1 o'clock or something. Whatever.
5 o'clock somewhere.
1 o'clock somewhere, boys.
All right, round two.
We still got this big ass bottle to finish.
Yeah, right. We'll be dead. We'll be a dead podcast. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's definitely good advice. Oh, there's some lime right here if you want some.
I'm good.
I said that after.
We got a limonada from Del Sol. Shout out Del Sol. What's up?
Shout out to Del Sol. Any sponsor of the podcast.
To the tacos.
But yeah, nonetheless, that's definitely great advice. I mean, for me, it's like, I always try to go say what's up, hook it up with, like, if I know I'm going to go out, I'll buy a pack of Red Bull and be like, yo, let me get to the
Yeah,
party.
you always bring us Red Bull on Mondays.
Because I know how it is, because it's like Monday, you're fucking tired, like, you know,
The weekends.
the weekends get to you, so I would love it when people would, like, come see me gig and then bring me, like, a Red Bull or some shit, so.
Well, I feel like I've seen you come up from like a long time, you know, from mega DJ days to like, you know, now and stuff, you know, so that's dope. You know,
Yeah,
so
let's
I
ask
see
you a
I see
question.
you doing
Oh,
your thing.
fuck.
What kind of advice would you have wanted that you didn't get?
I would say do networking, man, because I feel like there are times where I would be like, nah, I got to finish this mix, and I wouldn't go network. And then I'll put out the mix, and they really wouldn't do anything. But then I'll network, and then I'll just run into somebody and be like, hey, man, I need you to fill in here. Then I'll do a gig. And
Yeah, that's how it happens.
Or
how
I
it
would
works.
pick up some dope shit. Like, there are times where I feel like I don't want to network, and I'm sure you guys have those days too. But I'm like, nah, something tells me I have to go out because I'm going to pick something up. Whether if that's like you guys are talking and I pick up like a jam or something about DJing, or if Rockwell plays a song a certain way and I was like, oh, that's fucking dope. I forgot about this Tupac song. And then I'll just carry that with me. And then
See, but you're doing it right though, because like you coming out like and supporting other DJs, even on the slow nights that we fucking have, that goes a long way with other DJs. They pay attention to that, and that's how you end up getting gigs. Like Monday coming up,
Yeah.
he's gonna be doing he's gonna be DJing for the DJ City event we're doing at Bovine and Bass. So that networking that led to that, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're like, who do you want in Houston? I'm like, oh, easy call.
Great example. And I can't wait to kill that shit. So
It's gonna be fun.
it's going to be a great
It's
night.
gonna be him and Mark Cutts.
Oh, shit.
He's like, oh shit, never mind.
No, I fuck with Mark. Mark's the boy from Dallas. He's killing it.
Oh yeah, he's another young DJ that's coming up too.
Cause me and him, we were like cutting it up when y'all first had the DJ City thing at Net Bar.
Oh yeah.
So that shit.
When
Was
Ben
cool.
bought the 12. Was it 12?
I think he bought the 12.
Shout out to Mega DJ.
Yo, big shout out to Mega DJ, unofficial sponsor of the podcast. They always hook it up. Ben's always.
Ben loves the DJ culture and he supports anything that any DJ is doing.
We're lucky as a city to have someone like a Mega DJ here. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like no other cities have that, you know? Like, we literally have a store that's just dedicated to DJs, and the owner is all about DJs. You know, so shout out to Vin, shout out to Mega.
Yeah, there's one time when Eddie's dumbass left the equipment in the truck when he shouldn't have. Got his speaker stolen, and he had to do a gig later on that day. And Vin hooked him up. He's like, "Here, take these, take whatever you need, and just pay me later." You know, and that's exactly what he did. He took it and then paid it right back. No, this store's gonna do that.
Yeah.
Vin actually cared because Vin saw him post about it, and he reached out to Eddie and told him, "Hey, you know, I got you back. What do you need for your gig?" Then insurance paid him back, and it was all good. And one of those speakers were mine, fucking asshole. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, Vin definitely does a lot. I feel like I wouldn't know as many people or like learn the amount of skills I have just from knowing Mega DJ Center. Because then that's when you meet people like, you know, Gons,
That's how I met you.
Rockwell.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like people out of the state, you know, they know Vin, they know Mega DJ, they know the name because like he's a sponsor. He's one of the sponsors for the Mega D show. Last year, he would always give away something.
Yeah.
It would be an Akai board or headphones or something. He's all about it. He's always willing to give and willing to help. That's what makes Vin
And
awesome.
he's on top of everything that has to do with DJing.
Oh hell
He's
yeah!
on top
Sometimes
of
he
it
tells me
all.
shit. I'm like, wait, what? Where'd you hear that? He's like, he's just in it, like
Yeah.
way before like, and he knows everybody's schedule. Cause like I remember one time I went to go talk to him. He's like, oh, so you're at such and such this weekend? I was like, yeah. I was like, how do you know? He's like,
Vin knows everything.
he pays attention. If anybody pays attention, it's Vin. He knows where you're working, even if you're not working.
It's the encyclopedia of Houston DJs and
Man,
just DJs stuff in general.
Yeah, and if like you definitely should go support him in his store, as much as he supports the culture.
Yeah, and shout out to Remix too for doing a turntable meet. I know
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to Remix.
we haven't done it in a minute, but
Yeah,
think
him and Vin work very close to do that.
that
Was it
helped
called
out.
Scratchpad?
Turntable meet.
Turntable meet, yeah.
yeah,
It started off as Scratchpad and then kind of morphed into Turntable Meet.
yeah, and I feel like that's helped me a lot too because I remember jumping in the first time. I didn't even know how to cut. I didn't know there's.
I remember when you started because I remember talking to Blanca about it.
Yeah,
And I remember you showing up
Yeah.
at the old store.
and like nobody knew who I was, and I didn't even know there's grooves in the records that actually had like samples.
That's what I'm saying. I seen you come up from a long way
Yeah.
because I was there.
And I was like, yo, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just gonna baby scratch my ass off, and
Hey,
then,
start
I
somewhere.
learn, and then now I'm slowly getting better. So
There's a lot of DJs that younger like you, Rectic, that came up from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's funny too because you know like me and Remix would kind of like sit back and like watch all the like newer cats and be like, okay, that guy's gonna be good. That guy's gonna be good. Like we would kind of like just talk to each other.
You could tell though.
Crooks is trash.
Yeah, and then they talk shit about somebody else like, nah, that guy's trash.
No, but I mean, honestly, like we were pretty on point. So
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell who's gonna be good, and who's dedicated. Cause like,
I could tell if someone will be able to scratch the first time they touch a record and try to scratch. I could tell if I could tell just by how they touch the record and how they move the record the first time if they'll be able to learn how to scratch. Just because it's a certain type of feeling you have to have on the record and a certain type of like coordination. I could tell if they like. I feel like almost probably 7 times out of 10, I could probably tell like, okay, if this person actually tried to like learn, they'll be able to learn.
Yeah.
And then I could see people and be like, they're never gonna learn that scratch.
Yeah. Have you ever ran into somebody that's like, he's really dope, but the level of enthusiasm was just like low. And they
What?
just stopped after a while.
As far as what do you mean?
Just like DJing or scratching or.
I mean, I run into all kinds. You know, I mean, I've run into like some of the dopest DJs that never really did anything. You know what I mean? Just because
they're just good at DJ.
they're good, but they just, like I said, there's a lot more to, like he said, there's a lot more to DJing than DJing. If you want to be a working DJ, and you know, it has to deal with your attitude, it has to deal with, you know, networking, it has to deal with just how you act, you know, around certain people, just how, you know, you can't be a like a selfish DJ. You can't go in there and be like, I'm gonna play whatever the hell I want to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I did that, I wouldn't be working. You know, so it's like people just think, oh, as long as I get good at DJing, I learn how to mix and I learn how to whatever, I'm gonna get gigs. There's a lot more involved than just being a DJ, which is like any other job. You know what I mean? It's all about if people, you know. I always tell people like, no one wants to go see an asshole DJ. Like, no one wants to go see some DJ who looks like a dick, you know, up there and just looks like he's having a horrible time. You know what I mean? Like, not that people are just paying attention, but it's just that vibe you're putting out there.
You put it out like you put it out there like physically for people to see, and then it reflects in your music too. Like if you're up there with a just mean mugging, like your set's gonna fucking be trash.
I mean, and yeah, there's some DJs who aren't the best technical DJs, but they just have a fucking amazing vibe, and people like feed off that.
Yeah.
So imagine having both, like.
Yeah.
Like Anarchy has both. Like,
Oh yeah, that's the most positive person on the planet.
Yo, what
It's
up,
hard.
man?
It's hard to be happy all the time. You know what I mean?
And he's happy all the time.
24/7. Shout out to Anarchy.
Yep. Shout out to Anarchy.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
It's hard to be happy. You know, you might be having a bad day and you got to go in and DJ and you got to like put on this, fake,
Yeah, it's best when you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So you got the Yeezy joints on.
Oh yeah.
Favorite shoes?
Huh?
Those are your favorite shoes?
Oh yeah, my favorite shoes to wear because they're comfortable as hell. When you get older, you'll realize that.
That's crazy. It's funny how intertwined sneaker culture and DJ culture is.
Oh, for sure. I remember back when I was wearing my running shoes to do gigs. I remember Crisco was saying like, "Why are you wearing running shoes?" Like, because like it's comfortable. If you're standing for 4 hours, you don't want to be wearing bricks on your feet. You want to be up. You want to be able to get home and your back not hurt or just feel like ugh.
Yeah. What are your top 5 sneakers?
See, I'm not that much of a sneakerhead like that, but
Man, I seen you rocking Jordans, man.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I love Adidas. Yeah, but I have a bunch of Jordans. But like, I'm not that deep into it to where like like I could just name them off. But yeah, for sure, Jordans. I wear a lot of Jordans. But the ones I wear are like the old ones that came out the first time when I was young. Of course, because that's basically what it is now and shit.
Yeah,
but
they're just replicating them.
Yeah, I love wearing running shoes. The Nike Pegasus. Those were my favorite back in the days. Any running shoe, like really. But specifically Nike and Adidas for running.
How about you, Rockwell? I always see you rocking the Cortezes.
I'm old school, man.
So
No, I like I like Jordans, but I don't own any right now. But I like like from the 1s to like the 5s are like probably like my favorite because those are what I used to wear.
Yeah.
But I like classic shit, man. Like my fucking Cortez, a fucking shell toes.
But he has boosts though too.
Air Max 90s,
Yeah, boosts.
Yeah, I get I fuck with the Adidas Ultra Boost and stuff like that. But I used to be heavy in the Dunks back in the day, which are actually coming like back out now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of stopped with I've never owned a pair of Yeezys. Not that I don't like them, I just don't really care.
Yeah. I feel like
I'm all about comfortable shoes now because I'm older and I'm standing up a lot, so.
Yeah, because like people don't get that part. Like, yeah, you could be on your feet and moving around. That's not so bad. But when you're sitting still, 4 hours, like it gets to you.
Oh yeah, and then you're setting up. So
yeah.
You set up maybe an hour. You're walking.
I mean, it's not torture. It's not labor. But it's like say like for like a bartender. Yeah, their feet can hurt too because they're on their feet, but at least they're moving.
There's movement.
Well, I think the whole thing how you're saying about the sneaker thing and DJs, like I think DJs in general, at least me, my generation of DJs, like DJs are like collectors of a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like whether it's vinyl, you know what I mean? I know DJs collect, vinyl. I know DJs collect like old school boom boxes,
equipment,
even equipment,
what
mixers,
those bear things, bear bricks.
the bear bricks, yeah, like the toys and shit, like that. So I just think like the DJ culture in general, like it's a lot of dudes who just collect certain things, and they all have their own, they all have whatever.
Every DJ has their thing.
Like Remix has like every damn mixer that was
ever made,
so.
Fucking hoarders.
Yeah, for real. That's basically what it is.
That's what I called him.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Because I still have all my old vinyl. It's in my studio room, and I have some in storage too. I don't think I ever get rid of it. I did give away like I remember when Lisette was learning how to DJ. I was like, if you're gonna learn how to DJ, you're gonna do it like this. And I gave her like I gave her one of all my doubles because I wasn't using it at the time because it's already Serato. So I gave her a fucking big ass stack of records. I was like, look, learn how to mix these. If you're gonna learn how to mix, you gotta learn vinyl before you're gonna learn digital.
Yeah.
So that's the only time I ever like got rid of any type of vinyl, just my doubles.
Yeah, I haven't got rid of my vinyl. And actually, it was kind of hard when I moved out here because I couldn't bring it all. So I had to like separate. Okay, because when I moved out here, it was pre-Serato, so I had to bring vinyl. So I brought all the vinyl that I knew I was gonna have to play on the radio, and then whatever vinyl I knew I was gonna have to play at the club if I came out here not even knowing. Like, I literally got asked to move out here, and in 2 days I was living here.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about uprooting.
Yeah, so I mean, that was the best for me because to be honest with you, I never thought I would live in Texas. I never been to Houston. The only place in Texas I had ever been at the time was probably El Paso. So, yeah, I just brought like, okay, I'm gonna bring my radio records, these records that I'm probably gonna have to play at the club if I ever get a club gig because I didn't know, and then my favorite records, and that's basically all I brought. And then from there, I still collected records that I was getting service from out here, but I still have like half my records out in New Mexico.
Gotcha.
I'll never give them up.
So you said I'm like just chilling somewhere.
Yeah, they're at my
Collecting
parents'
dust and
garage.
shit.
Gotcha. Can
Collecting
you talk
dust.
about your transition from records to Scratch Live? And how was that?
For me, it wasn't too crazy because at the time I forgot what's his name. I can't think of it right now off the top of my head. Before it started going digital, there was a guy here. I can't think of it. Is it Ro? Yeah, Ro. He had made a big ass book of CDs. Remember?
I remember seeing those.
He made a big ass book of CDs. So he well for most DJs he made it easier because he already put him in digital form. So then from there all we had to do was rip the CDs. I mean I still had to rip some of my records. It was a pain in the ass. But yeah, he had a chronological order. So say if you wanted to play Yin Yang Twins, you flip to the book, look for Yin Yang Twins, and pick the song, and it'll tell you what CD it was on.
Yeah, it had
and what number.
I remember seeing a bunch of DJs with those books when I moved out here. I
Yeah.
was like,
And he would
damn.
sell those? Or?
Yeah, he would sell them.
Fuck, how much would you sell them for?
All right, that's what I'm saying. It's been so long.
It was like those huge, those big
Yeah, those
DJs,
big CD
binder
joints.
looking
Yeah.
things.
I gotta look for that shit. Yeah, I think it was like 50 CDs or maybe 100.
I barely started using CDs when I first moved to Houston. Like, I mean, I never really did, but like, well, there were certain songs that I didn't have, and like every club out here had like the Denon like rack mount CD players.
That CD player was dope. That was like the first one that had like the actual like a cue point.
That was hard. Yeah, that was hard. That was hard to use for me.
But yeah, it was crazy. Like anything you could think of, and it was like open format type of thing. So he had rock, everything. I need to see if I can find that
I
book.
think I have one of Crisco's old ones. Don't tell
I need
me.
to find that book.
We'll bleep it out.
Nah, but I actually was one of the last people to go on Serato. Luckily, being in radio, I got Serato for free from my homie.
Nice.
And I just had it, and I was like, nah. And then eventually, like, being on the radio and it just like, you need this song. It's not going to come out on vinyl. Or
Yeah.
if it is, it's going to come out later. And I hated playing CDs. I just didn't like playing CDs at all. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to bite the bullet. And I recorded a lot of my vinyl. It probably sounds like shit, but I did a lot of my vinyls, like, rips when I first started, and it just got too time consuming, and I finally just, got their collections, just, getting with people.
And then it became harder to even get shit on vinyl because the labels were already switching to MP3. So
Yeah.
it was kind of being forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember like we said earlier, we used to get packages on our porch every day to like getting like maybe one record. Like it slowly dwindled down. But then that dwindled down. But like our inboxes from the labels, just, like I could open it right now. I'm pretty sure I have like at least a few emails with songs from labels.
And then that started like the whole like digital record pool thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
See,
everybody in radio used to get their music from this. It was called New Music Server,
Oh yeah, I
and
forgot
that
about
was like basically where all the radios got their songs from.
yeah.
So, but you had to be like on radio to get
Have an account.
this account.
Yeah.
So like, I used that a lot first coming up, getting music, and then it's funny too because like the second you leave radio, your account just
Yeah, and they
just
forget
gone.
about you real quick.
it's just
Damn.
gone.
Like cutthroat, like radio is like very cutthroat when it comes to stuff like that.
That's crazy.
See, like I open up my emails, I have 3 emails off top from labels. So that's how we were joking about the other day. Because how many unanswered inboxes do you have?
My phone's over there, but it's over 1,000, like 10,000.
He laughed at. Like, what was yours? Mine's like at 40.
Shit.
His is like at 100 or something.
116,000.
Fuck. I thought I was a lot. People were like, "Damn, bro, you're an asshole. You have 10,000 unanswered emails." And
116,000.
that's wild.
Yeah, so we were joking about that shit the other day. And
It's from radio. Though.
Yeah, it's all-
I still
Yeah.
get I still get a bunch of labels, sending me stuff. So
the exclusives.
yeah.
I feel that. And how do you guys feel like FM radios doing nowadays?
Man, the only time I listen to FM radio is on the way home from work. I put on like some classic rock. But
Is that 93.7?
Yeah.
It's fucking shit.
yeah,
It's whack. It's like all one major station in every city almost. You know what I mean? Like it's not the same. Like you used to go and you'd hear like I remember coming up being like, yo, I gotta listen to Power 106 in LA because they had like all of they Eric Deluxe, Syph, they had dope DJs, Vice. So it was like,
AM.
and then even in New York, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you got Fun Master Flex, Mr. C,
Capri.
and then even like Florida, it was when Khaled was there, and then there was like other DJs I forgot that were super dope on the radio out there. Chicago too, and it was like, yo, you get to hear this, and then now I feel like it's just stale. It's the same shit in every city almost, and like I felt like they made the mix shows a lot shorter. They're not, there's not really as much like variety mix shows, because I remember like even me moving out here, like I would like listening to. I was on the opposite station as the Cracker Nuts. But I used to remember leaving the club on Saturday nights, and the Cracker Nuts would have like their show like after hours, and they'd be playing like super dope shit. You know what I mean? So you don't hear that anymore, really. I don't really listen to the radio. Once I got out of radio, I kind of stopped listening to it. I'll listen to it, when it's on, but it's not the same at all by any means. Like satellite, and then people listen to Spotify. It's like streaming, and so it's like. I think the majority of people now really don't care for that. Like, back in the day, you'd listen to mix shows to hear new songs.
Yeah.
That's how you would hear.
Yeah,
That's how you would find new songs. Now, the radio's so far behind. Like, you're not gonna hear something. You're not gonna hear a song getting broken on the radio like you used to back in the day. You know what I mean?
See, and that's why Phenom has so many DJs on globalization. Like, it's mix show driven. I guarantee right now you can turn on the radio, and I guarantee there's a DJ mixing right now instead of being rotation. I mean, we have rotation, but like there's at least like 3 or 4 DJs every day on the mix show,
Yeah, but even though like the rotation on Pet Bull is dope.
Yeah.
Because like even when there's not a DJ, I'm like, never heard this song. This shit's dope. And I actually like sit down and like put it on my phone, like remember to download this shit.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way. I just examine and have a list like shit to download.
And it's crazy because they're early on a lot of shit too.
Oh yeah.
Like before it blows up, it's crazy to see.
See, that's part of like the label sending him music. Like right now, he sent out his new song right now.
Let's see if it's gonna blow up.
Yeah, it's Trevor Daniel called Falling. So that's gonna be in rotation. Let's see what it sounds like.
But I feel like you have a lot more freedom on satellite and shit like that than people do on FM stations.
Sounds really trappy.
Yeah, it's a 64, double time 128.
Yeah.
But yeah, like shit. He gets shit emailed to him, and if it's dope, he puts it on. He has a good ear for that.
That's dope. So what's the craziest shit that's ever happened out during a gig?
That's a good question.
You want to take a shot before this, or you're good?
Let me see. I mean, we could do one before we bounce out of here. So
I'm down.
Craziest?
I don't know how you're gonna pour it out of that big ass jug of tequila.
Slowly.
You
should probably pour it in the big cup right here, and then pour him in the little one.
Nah, I'm gonna do it like this.
There he is. It's not his first time. It's not his first rodeo.
Can you pass me real quick?
I like how you're like resting on, you're using your knees.
It's just heavy.
This shit is kind of.
I'm trying to think of anything crazy.
Or just like funny in general.
Man, let me think. Oh, I know a funny story.
Have you had yours yet?
He's got to work out, bro.
Our camera guy, man.
We gotta get them gains.
Shout out to Nathan San Miguel.
A funny one was fucking Crisco's as we were live on the air from Tug War. Okay, let's do this real quick. Here we go. We're live in the air from the club, and this fool, he's a fanatic for fucking McRib. So
Wait, like
yes,
like McDonald's.
Dude, this is always the thing too. We'd be at the station and we'd be like, "Hey, we're hungry," and people would just bring us food. So we were at the club. He's like, "If anybody's," it's like midnight. "If anybody's on the way to the club right now, can somebody please pick me up a McRib?" And somebody's ass heard him. They're on the way to the club and they picked it up. He ate it at the club, which is probably the biggest mistake ever. Let's just say he was in the restaurant the rest of the night. I was like, Crisco, why the hell you eat that shit? Especially at midnight.
Broadcasting from the toilet.
Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, I'm in the restroom." Dropping a deuce here at the club.
That's funny.
I'm trying to think of something else. You have any funny stories?
Funny stories. I got punched while I was DJing one time.
Yeah, it wasn't even intended for him.
I mean, I guess that's not funny, but I still mixed the next song.
It's crazy.
I got punched and I still mixed the next song in.
Damn.
So he hit like a bitch.
That's professionalism right there, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much crazy shit happens that it's like almost like blends into one. Like just a regular night, like we'll have some funny shit happen and then you just forget about it the next day. You know what I mean? Like, the whole like girls flashing and all that stuff. Like that's
Slinkies and shit.
Oh yeah, Fawn had a flasher at Heart the other day.
Yeah.
The girl was just like straight up just dancing without her shirt off in front of the DJ booth. He's like, "All right."
So I see you.
I mean, you just see so much shit from the DJ booth that like regular, if you're in the crowd or whatever, you're just hanging out, like people don't usually see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it happens in the DJ, like, or just it's crazy. So I don't know. It's just so much shit that I can't even like.
Before that whole thing became a meme of people going to the booth to ordering drinks, like it happened to me a long ass time ago at Drinkery.
Yeah, always would happen at Drinkery.
Always, because like at Drinkery, part of our pay, well, aside from our pay, they always gave us a bottle. Like, all right, you can have a tab, or you can have a bottle. So we're like, all right, just give us a bottle. So we were always have a bottle in the booth. So I guess to somebody on the other side of the booth, looks like a bar. This girl came out one time and she's like, hey, can I get she says SoCo and lime or some shit. I was like, first of all, like, do you see SoCo and lime up here? And I go, this is DJ booth. I go, this is Jameson. And like, she's like, oh, are you sure you can't make me a drink? I'm like, no, I can't make you a drink. Like, the bar's right there. And then like a couple of months or like a year later, I started seeing memes of like that shit. People coming to the DJ booth for fucking drinks.
What's the craziest shit that you've seen so far?
So far.
Whew. I'm trying to think funny or like fucking crazy. I think I talked about this on another podcast. But essentially, we threw a party in high school, and it was like right around the time that Project X came out. And it was me and my 3 other buddies, and we're selling tickets to this specific party. So we're going to have... Wait, hold on. I don't know. Fuck it. By the time anybody important hears this podcast, it'll be 7 years. So statute of limitations is on my side on this one. So essentially, we would like provide like alcohol and shit, like jungle juice, like just high school shit. You know?
Yeah.
And we would sell them for like $10 a piece, and it got blown up all over Twitter, Facebook, and it was just fucking nuts. So the day of the party, I'm supposed to DJ. So like Aaron will DJ, this guy's at the door, and this guy will make sure everything else is good. All right, cool.
Man, you had door guys at your house party?
Yeah. First, shout out to my boy Dupree. So the first like 2 hours went cool. It's fucking slammed. Like I'm talking about like people are coming in with just money coming in. I'm like, fuck yeah, we're finna get paid. And I think we spent maybe like, I don't know, like $300 on alcohol just through pre-orders and making jungle juice and shit. So this is a house party, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not bad for that.
So it's fucking crazy. It's getting packed. This is a 2-story house. I'm DJing it. And next thing you know, it just gets like nuts. Like I just remember we couldn't even fucking move in the house.
I feel sorry for whoever owned that house.
Yeah,
For real, I had to clean it.
Yeah, so he wasn't on the deal too. We paid him, I think, I don't know, like $500 or something to rent his house.
Oh, y'all definitely made money.
Yeah, so no, we didn't. So here's the problem. This is around the time that Waka Flocka was hot.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good idea to play Grove Street Party, and all these motherfuckers started getting turned. Gang signs were being turned up in the air, and I just remember like, fuck, like I shouldn't have played the song, but the crowd's getting lit because this is in spring, so this is like a white neighborhood.
Yeah.
But then there's people from Greenspoint there.
Greenspoint.
So you know how that shit works out. And all I know is like there's a fight happening. One of my friends are in there, and I can see it, but I can't do anything because I'm on the other side of the room, and like bottles are being thrown and shit like that. Next thing I fucking know, I heard gunshots. Pop, pop, pop.
The worst.
Everybody's coming out the front door because I was DJing towards the front of the room, and all you see is just bodies.
Like Kato and shit trying to get out.
Yeah. So everybody's running out, and then my buddy's brother who's with me, who's the door guy, he fucking just gets stuck. Like he just like doesn't know what to do. Like
Yeah, it's like fucking...
Yeah, like he was so scared that he just like stayed still, just like was stuck. So I like threw him on the ground. I was like, dude, get on the fucking floor. What the fuck's wrong with you? So
get shot.
So all these people are running out, and all we hear is pew, 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 pew. And then there's like maybe like 8 gunshots back and forth, and it turns out it's the guy who we rented the house with and the shooters.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so they're in the shootout, and then the shooters are trying to shoot the cameras that are outside, because there are cameras outside too.
Yeah.
So then by this time, there's a studio inside the house. This guy who owned the house, he's trying to do like a record label or some shit. He had a studio, and only a few people knew that studio could like lock the door from the other side. And I was one of those motherfuckers.
Like, fuck the...
Yeah, so I walk in there, and there's people hiding in there. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, like, we're good. And this girl's in there, she's like, my friend's out there. I need to go get her. And everybody's like, nah, fuck that bitch. Like, we're not opening the door. So she's like, Megan. And then the other dude's like, yo, fuck Megan. Like, so I'm like, if we open the door, we're not letting you back in. Because it's like, you're a fucking liability. And this other girl's like, yo, you're a liability. Like, fuck that shit. So then we let her out. So then at this point, people are still running all over the place. Maybe like 5-10 minutes pass. We walk out the studio. We're thinking everything's died down. People are still fucking running. All I see is kids running over. I look outside. The fucking fence is knocked over. There's fucking glass on the floor from the window upstairs and the camera. And all I hear is sirens, like. And then the guy who owns the house comes out and he has like a fucking gun. He's like, yo, y'all saw those motherfuckers? Like, where'd they go? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he has a gun. And at this time, I was maybe like 16 or 17, so I didn't have a gun at the time. And then all I know is that like I text my dad. I was like, yo, some shit just popped off. And I live down the street.
Yeah.
So then he pulls up, all fucking guns drawn, being from the southeast and shit. And he gets there before the cops.
Uh-huh.
But it took him 10, 15 minutes to get there when it takes like 3 minutes to get there from my house.
Damn.
So he's like, yo, there's a line to get into your neighborhood. That's how packed this party is.
That's fucking nuts.
He's like, there's traffic on the way there. And while that's happening, there's people trying to come to the party. And we're just like, yo, there was a shootout.
And people trying to get out, too.
Yeah. So it's like just fucking total chaos. And then my dad comes with his gun. Then the cops come and they're like, hey, why do you have a gun? And he's like, oh, like I'm his dad, like whatever.
I can't believe you called your dad to come rescue you at a house party. Yeah.
Because my
That's
dad
crazy.
be strapped the fuck up. Like,
yeah.
He don't fuck around. My man went to Milby, so
Hell yeah.
you know how it is.
That's 01 Milby.
So he was there before fucking the cops got there. But by then everything already kind of like chilled off or whatever. So I just look at all the travesty. There's like fucking shoes and fucking t-shirts. The fucking fence is torn down. Like, it's just fucking nuts. And then the cops get there. Obviously, we're underage. There's like a beer pong table. And I'm like, yo, let's throw away all the beer pong shit and as much as we can so we don't get in as much trouble. So the cops are getting there. We're in the other room trying to like move all the shit and throw it away and hide as much evidence. But they ended up just letting everything go and like, hey, like, get the fuck out of here type shit.
Yeah, usually what they do, just bring it up.
What happened to the money?
Yeah.
No, what happened to money?
So the door guy, which my buddy had, he had it. But the owner of the house is pissed, like, hey, man, what the fuck? Like, I need new cameras and a fence.
Yep.
So pretty much we had to fork out all the money that we gave to him, and I only made like $200. The door guy made $200, and my other friend made $200.
Still cameras.
I mean, he probably needed it for all the damage.
Yeah, no, we fucked this shit up. And then on top of that, that shit was on CNN the next day.
What the fuck? Oh shit! I think I know what party you're talking about.
This was a long time ago, like 2014.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I remember seeing it on the news.
Yeah.
That was that party? Oh shit! I remember seeing that.
Yeah, so those
because they even said it on there like, oh, it's a Project X type party.
Yeah.
They even said it like that on the fucking news.
It's all Waka Flocka.
Yeah, it was on local news too. It was on ABC. I remember that shit.
It was nuts. And then the guy who ended up doing the shooting, they caught him because he was posting a picture of him. This dude took a selfie of him with the gun before he goes to the party.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like.
That's how they caught his ass.
Yeah, that shit was nuts.
And he wasn't of age either to have the gun, right?
He wasn't of age. He was our age.
Yeah, he wasn't of age to have the gun. What an idiot.
And then we find out more into the story that my buddy turned him away like in the beginning because he didn't have like $10.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Hey, if you ain't got no money, get the fuck out of here." Because my dude's retarded. Like.
Yeah.
So apparently they came back mad, paid the $10, came in there and shot that bitch up. So yeah, that's crazy shit.
There's always somebody to fuck up a party.
Yeah, shit happens everywhere, but yeah.
It's funny. It's funny how.
Yeah, man. Ever since then, I haven't done a house party.
Oh yeah. I stopped gigging on this side of town too for that
They used
reason.
to break up house parties in Albuquerque with the police helicopter.
That's nuts. Yeah, and then I think a helicopter came out later, but that shit was crazy. And after that, I like tried to stay away from rap music for a little bit.
Oh yeah, like the DJ determines the energy in the room. You can help people have a great fucking day, or you could fuck up people's day.
Yeah, that was my fault. So
Way to go! Didn't you learn your lesson?
I did learn my lesson. I haven't played Waka Flocka since then.
Wow.
Too scared. But yeah, man. Nonetheless, thank you guys for coming on the show.
For sure. Thanks for having us.
I know you guys are hella busy, and shit like that.
It's definitely our first time doing this, so it's cool.
One thing that we do on the show is we ask each of our guests if they were to give their last speech to the world in 30 seconds or less, what would that be?
Holy
like?
shit!
And that could be like you spitting game or you talking shit about something or something you really feel strongly about. Just 30 seconds or less of you just talking to the world.
I'm gonna go with Rockwell. Don't be a dick.
Damn, you took my shit.
I don't know. That's a tough question, but yeah, man, just do right by yourself and do right by others, man. Because you can't. Other than that, you can't really do anything else.
Wise words from DJ Playboy. How about you, Rockwell?
I mean, just be a good person. Don't be lazy. If you want to do something, fucking do it. don't worry about what anybody else says. Just fucking do it. I mean, shit. If I worried about what other people said, I probably wouldn't be a fucking DJ.
And most importantly, learn from your mistakes. Because if you don't fucking learn from them, then they're just fucking mistakes, not lessons.
Wise words from DJ Rockwell and DJ Playboy. Thank you guys for coming out again.
All right, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it, man. And we'll definitely see you Monday.
Oh shit! Was it Monday or Tuesday?
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Tuesday.
Tuesday.
No, Mondays is Tequila's Industry Night. 50% off all bar
Oh, yeah.
tabs.
Yeah. So we're not done yet. Where can the people find you, Playboy?
Monday with him
Anything you want to plug in?
at Tequila's. For any DJs and any industry people, 50% off your tab at the end of the night. Wednesday rotating at Bovine. Thursday at Bovine. Then rotating Friday, Saturdays, and then Kirby on Sunday. And you can listen to our mix on Globalization at 2 p.m. Central Time on Channel 13.
Any social media handles?
At DJ Playboy _1. Yeah.
You almost forgot that.
I mean,
shit.
I was like, yeah.
How about you, Rockwell?
Just at DJ Rockwell 505.
Cool.
So find out where I'm at through there.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Once again.
Thank you.
This is Southern Vibes.
All right, man.
Peace.
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 That was it.